How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the Two Bros Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Hunter Smith, and I'm here with my brother and co-host, Dakota Smith. How are you today, Dakota?
Pretty good. Good night in the NBA. Just 4 games, but 2 games I'm very much enjoying. Going to enjoy watching. Luka's playing right now. They're not playing well. New Orleans is on fire to start the game, but then Phoenix and Golden State tonight should be a good one.
Yeah, definitely have to tune into some NBA action tonight. But today's episode over the NFL here, going into week 8, week 7 just ended. Upset alerts this week, if I remember correctly. Had some interesting games.
I don't remember how many of those we got right. Well, the Buccaneers losing kind of shocked.
The
Buccaneers kind of shocked the world. They're beating the Buccaneers, who didn't even score a touchdown in that game. The Giants are 6-1. I'm just gonna hat tip you there. They're 6-1. But I like what Jacksonville did. Jacksonville
Seahawks beat the Chargers too by 14.
Yeah, Seattle doesn't look terrible. The Bears beating the Patriots. Didn't mind that one at all. Fields, that was probably one of the better games he's had.
Aaron Rodgers still can't get it together there in Green Bay.
And we can talk moving forward, though. It looks like the Colts moving away from Matt Ryan.
Yes.
And
well, first things first on every podcast, the pop and flops of week 7. Dakota, you picked them this week, and starting off here for the pops, we got Joe Burrow, Josh Jacobs, and Jamar Chase. Joe Burrow, 34 for 42 this week, 481 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 3 carries for 20 yards and a touchdown. 39.24 fantasy points. What a week for Joe Burrow. Josh Jacobs, 20 carries, 143 yards on 3 touchdowns, 3 receptions for 12 yards and 36.5 fantasy points. Jamar Chase this week, 8 receptions, 130 yards, 2 tutties on 11 targets for 33 points.
I could have just left this at Joe Burrow and not put the other two. Realistically, I could have just put Joe Burrow and that was it. Because he had an incredible week. I don't remember who had him in our fantasy league, but you're lucky. I was a beneficiary. I had Jamar Chase. But no, Joe Burrow, monster week. He's my pop of the week. And I don't think that there's much to talk about there. Like they torched Atlanta. Absolutely torched the Falcons. Because in our league, we score quarterbacks like running backs, and he ended up with like 79.8 or something crazy like
ridiculous.
That. Just stupid number. In that league, but I like the way we do it. It makes you play we play 2 quarterbacks. Because I like playing 2. Oh, yeah. Oh, did you play him?
I believe so.
Oh, I'm sorry. You had to play Joe Burrow.
Yeah, he put up 74.1.
That's unfortunate. I had one of the greatest fantasy comebacks I've ever had this week. We'll get to that later, but I think it's Burrow. I mean, Jacobs looked good. He was supposed to look good.
Yeah.
Like he was supposed to. My pop sheet got moved from the stuff we had last week. All I know is I remember having Damian Pierce, and pretty sure he was over 100 yards too. He had Russell Wilson, and he didn't end up playing. I do remember that. I told you not to pick Russell Wilson, and you picked Russell Wilson.
Oh, he was him. It's fine.
He is. Yeah, with not him at quarterback.
I'm kidding. It's Danny Dimes. But yeah, I think it's obvious this week. I think it's got to be Joe Burrow. I mean, he absolutely erupted this week. Whole Bengals offense did. Jamar Chase included. I just moved my entire desk. Jamar Chase included. Correct me if I'm wrong, but Joe Mixon had a decent week as well, I believe.
I don't think Mixon had that good of a week. If I remember right, I don't think Mixon had that good of Tyler Boyd had a good week.
That's who it was.
Yeah, Tyler Boyd was the other one who had a good week. I don't think Mixon. Yeah, Mixon wasn't bad. He had 17 carries, 58 yards, and a touchdown, 3 catches for 33 yards. It's not bad, but Boyd had 8 catches for 155 and a touchdown. You could have argued his game was just as good as Jamar Chase.
Yeah, for sure. flops of the week here for week 7. We got some interesting ones here. 2 happen to be on the same team. In this order, we're gonna go over them. Oh, what?
And if I'm not mistaken, we both have one of these. Actually, 2 of these people are on my fantasy team, and the other one is on yours. If I'm not mistaken, you have Andrews, right?
Yes, I do.
I have Lamar. I had Lamar and Drake London in that league.
Yep, Lamar Jackson, Drake London, and Mark Andrews, the flops for this week. Lamar Jackson only 9 for 16 on 120 yards, 10 carries for 59 yards, 10.7 fantasy points. Drake London, not a good week at all for him. 1 reception on 1 target for 9 yards, 1.9 fantasy points. I guess you could say he did with what he got, but Mark Andrews, my God, I don't even want to talk about him. He's my flop of the week just in advance, and 1 carry for 4 yards. He's a tight end.
Didn't have a catch.
On 2 targets, no catches, 0 yards receiving.
Dang, that is
He turned it to a running back this week at running back university. No other place to do it.
Well, I was going to go Lamar, but I didn't realize that was just a carry. It was only 0.4 points. So yeah, it was just a carry. Yeah, I'm also going to go Mark Andrews. Because you expect him expect him to try to keep up with Kelsey. I don't think he was close to Kelsey this week. At all. I don't think he was close in points to Kelsey at all this week. Because when you own him, you expect him to be. Kelsey had 15.8 last week on a day where they were on. It was National Tight Ends Day on Sunday, and Mark Andrews did not get the memo.
I don't think there was any tight end that got the memo, really.
Kittle had his best game of the Kittle had his best game of the year.
Yep.
Kittle had 21.8.
We'll get to that offense later.
I think Kittle was the highest scoring tight end. Kittle and Jawan Johnson played on Thursday. But no, Kittle was the highest scoring tight end this week. In a loss, of course. Just had to be a loss where George Kittle went nuts.
Yeah, I think Mark Andrews is the clear-cut one here.
Oh, yeah. I agree with you. 100%.
And looking into our fantasy teams this week, I did end up losing. Honestly, I don't know how. I was looking at stats, and nothing really pops out to me of how. My team was, I want to say, better on the day, but apparently not.
I'm pulling.
I don't know. Leonard Fournette had a bad week. Tom Brady was kind of mid.
It's your court. It's that
Mark Andrews obviously not good.
It was the 74 by Burrow. It's the 74 by Burrow that kills you.
Yeah, and I'm benching Tom Brady for the rest of the season. So
you have Tua, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I would play Tua at this point.
Yeah.
I don't want to tell you to hold on, but they play Baltimore this week on Thursday night.
Yeah, I know. I'll get to Tom Brady alone.
I would. Let's see. So I had a crazy comeback, and I didn't even realize it. I didn't realize it until well after it happened. I checked after the Chiefs game. I basically felt like I was done because the guy I was playing basically had the entire Chiefs offense. So I thought I was done. And then turns out Kenneth Walker breaks a 74-yard touchdown. And then Eckler scores a touchdown late. And I end up winning by 15.
Yeah.
Completely. So I checked halfway through the Sunday night game. I was like, hey, if I'm within 4 or 5 points, my defensive guy could get me there. I'm like, oh, I'm up 10. Okay, sweet. I'm going to win. That was a pretty great feeling to have when that happened. Because Lockett didn't. He didn't. Mahomes went nuts. Mahomes had a good game.
He had a really good game
Sunday too. DeAndre Hopkins looked really good in his comeback.
A person I'm surprised that. So obviously you chose the pops and flops this weekend because we kind of do it. Whoever can do it that weekend. Yeah. I'm surprised you didn't put McCole Hardman on here.
He was that was up there. I thought about it.
Mm-hmm.
It was between I had it between Hardman and Chase, but Chase did more yardage wise, even though he only had 2 touchdowns. He just did more than Hardman So I'm gonna go. Nowhere near as not as
on
close
the
to,
bench. 28. Wow.
yeah, that's the reason he lost to me
Yeah.
because
3 touchdowns though.
yeah, I had a decent week. I had a probably what you would consider an average week for my team. That's I scored 213 in that league. That's not bad. That's about what I average. I'm 6-1 now.
Yeah,
I am
4-3.
And I'm 6-1, and I'm the 1 seed now. Even though you've outscored me this year, I've been the luckiest team. I've been the luckiest team in the league. I have the least amount of points scored against me. I've gotten lucky.
I got very unlucky this week. I think it was a really needed win too for me. Wow, I was about to say I'm looking at our divisions here, and there is 2 teams in each division that are absolutely atrocious.
Yeah, and then
1-6, 6-1 because we had a tie in our league.
The one is crazy. I have a 95% chance to make the playoffs now. Who just hit that 3? Who hit that? Was that Devontae Graham? It probably was. It probably was Devontae Graham. Now that I think about it, that was the only guard on the floor. That's not in Alvarado's book to shoot one from that far out.
Well, looking here, to week 8, looking forward here. Going to be going into our pop and flop predictions for this week, for week 8. Obviously, we pick a quarterback, running back, wide receiver. I got it right again this week, so that's good. I'll start it off here. My pop for this week, it's going to be Tom Brady. And I know I just said I want to bench him, but it's the fact that he plays that Ravens secondary that has been, I almost want to say, atrocious.
Yeah, it has been atrocious. You are completely right.
This is my quarterback pop.
Okay, I am going to go with Tua.
Yeah,
I like Tua this week. They play the Lions. The Lions are not good. They're playing inside. They're playing in a dome. That game's got a 51.5 point total. I really, really like Tua this week. All the weapons are healthy. He looked healthy. That Steelers defense is really good. That wasn't great weather that second half. It was, if I'm not mistaken, I went to bed like halfway through the third quarter, but that it was raining for the better part of the second half in that game. So, but I like Tua this week. I think now he's got 1 game back under his belt. I think he'll be comfortable.
Yeah, for sure. I that's actually something I really could see. He'll go along with my wide receiver pick, but for running back here, I got Derrick Henry this week. He had his most rushing yards last week on 30 most attempts though as well. So 30 attempts for 128 yards, but no touchdown. And I think he's going to continue this 3-game streak he's got here of over 100 yards because he plays the Texans. And I think he's going to have a really good week for the Titans.
That's a good pick. I'm doing this based on a trade that happened last night. In case nobody saw, in case you've lived under a rock the last 2 days. Breece Hall tore his ACL. So the Jets traded for James Robinson. So I'm going to go with Travis Etienne. I know I respect that Broncos defense a lot, but now he's going to start getting all of the running back usage in Jacksonville. And now they're just going to let him go. And there's no Robinson there to interfere with him. So I'm just going to ride Travis Etienne now. This completely changes my fantasy team this year too. Like that locks me into another high RB2, low RB1 running back in Etienne. So I was very happy when that happened, but I'm going to go with Travis Etienne this week.
Yeah, well, speaking of the Breece Hall, I have him in both leagues.
Ouch.
And he tore his ACL. So anyway, we'll move on. For my wide receiver this week, I'm going with he's a connection there with Tua. I'm going with Tyreek Hill this week. I think with Tua back and Tua with a week, obviously under his belt back from the scary injury that it was, I think the Dolphins are going to have a monster week. Obviously they play at Detroit. Lions defense, I mean, Lions obviously not the best team in the league or by any means, but yeah, I think Tyreek Hill is gonna have a huge week, and I think the whole Dolphins offense is gonna have a really big week.
I'm gonna piggyback off of your Tom Brady here. I'm gonna go with Mike Evans. I think Tampa can bounce back in a big way. I mean, a lot of their momentum got killed when Mike Evans dropped that big touchdown pass early, which on one of the easiest catches Mike Evans will ever have in his career, he just dropped it. And I think they bounce back I think Tampa bounces back this week, but I'm not. God, I think it's been forever since Brady's been 3-4 or under 500.
Oh
and
yeah.
That's just crazy to think. And I think the offense finds a rhythm this week. That doesn't mean they win. I'm not sure who I'm going to pick in that game yet because I also like Baltimore to get back on the right track too. So I don't expect Mark Andrews to not have a catch this week unless he's not healthy. That's another thing. If Mark Andrews isn't healthy, we're recording this Tuesday evening, so we don't have any injury news yet really to speak of. But if Andrews isn't healthy, I like Tampa. But if Andrews is healthy, I think Baltimore wins that game.
Yeah, for sure. That is gonna be a good game, hopefully. Moving on to our flop predictions this week, and I've got an obvious one, I feel like, but going to the Chicago Bears here, Justin Fields. I think he's got to be my flop of the week. The Cowboys defense is so good. It's so good, and this Bears team. I don't know what to think of the Bears really. I mean, the defense is solid. I think their defense is really solid, but I don't know. They've got to get something figured out there. And I mean, what are they right now? Like 3-4 also? 3-4.
The Bears are 3-4.
NFC North. So, we'll see. But I don't think he's gonna be able to pick apart this Cowboys defense.
I'm going to go with Aaron Rodgers, and I think you can just put this on repeat until if they decide they want to trade for a wide receiver. If they don't, you can put Aaron Rodgers on flop watch the rest of the year. Because this Buffalo defense is legit. Yeah. In Buffalo on Sunday night, I think this game could be legit bad. Like Buffalo could win this game by 30, and it wouldn't surprise me. But Aaron Rodgers could also just be back-to-back MVP Aaron Rodgers and do something just crazy, but not with this receiving core. This receiving core is terrible. If I were Aaron Rodgers, I'd be giving half of my paycheck to Devontae Adams and begging him to come back.
Literally.
Because he has legit no one to throw the ball to. Like, nobody.
Like, Devontae Adams made that big of a difference. So.
Yeah. I mean, he's the best receiver. But that's a debate for a later time. I'm not going to say that out loud yet because I have a couple other opinions too. I have a pretty firm top 3 or 4, but
yeah,
I think just not good.
Running back here, flops of the week. We might have the same one. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe we're thinking on the same wavelength, but I'm going with Jeff Wilson Jr. and it's for obvious reasons here. If you have been literally living under a rock, Panthers traded Pro Bowl running back Christian McCaffrey to the San Francisco 49ers in exchange for some draft picks, and so he returns to the Bay Area. Obviously, he attended Stanford, and Jeff Wilson Jr.'s touches just went down tremendously. So I've got Jeff Wilson Jr. I hate it, but because I like Jeff Wilson Jr., but Christian McCaffrey is going to get so many touches. It's going to be hard to split them, I think.
I'm going to go with a guy who had a big week coming back off. He just came off the PUP list. But I have a lot of respect for Tampa Bay's run defense, even though they didn't have a good week against Carolina. I'm going to go Gus Edwards. I don't think he had a great week, bounces back with 2 touchdowns. Don't expect that. I just don't expect anything like that out of him again, even though he's going to be the lead guy now that J.K. Dobbins is out for a while. I just don't expect that. The number 1 running back on that team is Lamar Jackson. Okay. He is the RB1 for Baltimore. But I just don't think he has nearly as good as a week as he had last week.
Yeah. Wide receiver for me, I'm actually going back to the Chicago and Cowboys game. I got CeeDee Lamb. I think the Bears defense is too solid. I love me some CeeDee Lamb, but I think it's time for him. I don't know. I think it's at some point he's gonna have a bad week, and if there's a week to pick it, I think it's now. Like I said, I don't think the Bears. This is not me saying the Bears are better than the Cowboys or anything like that. The Bears got the best defense in the league, but the Bears defense is solid. I like the Bears defense. And I like CeeDee Lamb too, but I think he might have a tough time this week.
Yeah. I just had it. Sorry, I'm caught watching. The Pelicans before that shot were shooting 77% from the field. I'm gonna go with Michael Pittman for obvious reasons. I understand that Matt Ryan has been bad. I get that, but I don't think Sam Ellinger is the answer. I just don't. I get it. You want to play your young guys? Go ahead. But I would want no part of Michael Pittman this week. I just think that team's an absolute shambles. They cannot get their quarterback situation right. Like they had Phillip Rivers, Carson Wentz didn't work out, and then it hasn't worked out with Matt Ryan, which is unfortunate because I like Matt Ryan. I liked Matt Ryan. Was never like huge on Matt Ryan because I just don't think the type of quarterback he is really fits the NFL anymore. Because you got to be able to move now. You can't just stand in the pocket.
Absolutely.
So I just don't think that's the answer for them at quarterback. And I think it's makes things worse for Pittman. I think they're going to really, really start to lean on Jonathan Taylor a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, week 8 predictions here. Gonna get into it, and finally, we might have a good Thursday night football game.
Yeah, this could be a good one. This could be a doozy.
Baltimore Ravens going to Florida to visit the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and this could be a very good Thursday night football game. I am going with the Ravens. I know I said I had Tom Brady's pop of the week. I'm probably still gonna play him this week because I'm dumb. So might have to sit Kyler Murray instead. I don't know. But I got Baltimore. Lamar Jackson, he's him.
Okay.
He's the quarterback, running back, wide receiver, cornerback, lineman for this entire team. So
yeah. I kind of gave it away. If Andrews plays and is healthy, I think Baltimore will win. If Andrews is not healthy, Tampa Bay wins this game. I know that's copping out, but I don't have injury news yet. So I think Andrews is that big of a difference. If he's not healthy, I mean, Isaiah Likely can step into that role, but I just don't. I'll pick Tampa. I'll go with the home team on Thursday night. I'll just go ahead and pick Tampa Bay.
Going to Sunday here. 8:30 game on ESPN Plus. It's at the Wembley Stadium in London, and it's the Broncos taking on the Jaguars. I'm not watching this at 8:30 in the morning on Sunday, but it's a tough one. But I'm gonna go Jacksonville.
I am too, because I don't know about the health of Russell Wilson.
I don't know about the
and until even with Russell Wilson, I don't know. But the fact that Jacksonville's favored, I just don't think Wilson plays until he's completely healthy. And they looked putrid against the Jets. And I mean, the Jets aren't terrible. I mean,
yeah,
credit where credit is due. They're 5-2. That team can find a way to win 4 more games. I think they're in the playoffs, which is weird to say that the Jets have a better record. The Jets have a better record than everybody in the AFC West, and they're tied with the Chiefs. You would have told me that in week 7, I would have told you to go find a psych ward. Because nobody thought the Jets would be 5-2 at this point. Nobody. You were delusional to think that, but I'm mind blown at how good the two New York teams are 11-3. You could come up with a lot of good teams that combined aren't 11-3 right now.
Yeah. So yeah, I think Jacksonville is going to be the obvious one here.
Yeah.
But it could be a good game between those two teams. We'll see. 12 o'clock slates here. Starting off at the Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta. We've got the Panthers versus the Falcons. This is a tough one for me. But I'm going to go with the Falcons because I think the Panthers are that. Well, I want to say that bad.
But they beat the Bucks and held the Bucks without a touchdown. Beat the
Bucks, but I'm going to go with the Falcons. I'm going to stick with the home team here.
I am going to go with Atlanta. I don't know if you saw this, but Carolina's interim coach said that PJ Walker will be the starter regardless of who is healthy.
Ooh.
So when Baker's healthy, when Darnold's healthy, PJ Walker is the starting quarterback, which I am kind of surprised about. But I mean, he just beat Tom Brady, so okay. But I'm going to go with Atlanta. I think this is a good spot for Atlanta to bounce back after a couple bad week. Well, a bad week after they beat San Francisco. Kind of a little bit of flop lag there with the Falcons after a big win over the Niners. They kind of just ran into the buzzsaw that is the Bengals, who are starting to find their footing now.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Bears at the Cowboys here. I'm gonna go with the Cowboys because I think Dak is gonna redeem himself this week. I think Dak needs to redeem himself this week. He didn't play great last week, coming back, but first game, whatever, we'll let it go. But I was thinking put Cooper Rush back in though. I don't know.
I'm not.
But I'm gonna go with the Cowboys here.
I am too. Chicago had a great week, but I think the Patriots might just be legit bad. I think Mac Jones might be done in New England.
Yeah, which is unfortunate.
I didn't watch any of the Monday night game because we were busy. We were recording our NBA podcast last night. I just apparently there were a Bailey Zappi chance to bring him into the game after Mac Jones started bad. Oh gosh,
I think I saw a video about that.
I forget quickly, but I mean Zappi did win him some games, and I respect Mac Jones, but you're getting outplayed. You ride the hot hand at quarterback. Like just go with it.
Which is why Cooper Rush needs to play.
Give Dak some time. That they looked bad. They've looked bad when Dak's played. I won't deny you that.
Yeah.
The 7 quarters Dak has played, they have not scored a whole lot of points. So maybe they can get it right against Chicago. But I think Chicago's defense is good. I just think Dak Prescott finally gets it right here. And I'm picking Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
I think that 10-point spread may be a little bit too big with how good Chicago's defense is. But if Dallas gets hot, watch out.
Next game, Cardinals at the Vikings here. It's at the US Bank Stadium. So, for me, I actually think this is going to be a good game. I think it's going to be a very watchable game. But I'm going to ride the hot team here. I'm going to go with the Vikings. The Vikings are so good. They've looked really good. The Cardinals have not looked good. They haven't looked great so far.
Well, they looked good. They looked good on Thursday night.
I think DeAndre Hopkins coming back though is going to help them a lot. I think it's going to help the offense a lot. Which is I'm really at a predicament in quarterback this week because I would love to sit Tom Brady, but it's really hard to sometimes, especially when he plays in the Ravens secondary. But I'm gonna go with the Vikings here.
I'm gonna go off the board. I'm gonna say Arizona keeps this momentum. I don't think Arizona's as bad as everybody thinks they are. And that division, you talk about wide open division wise, that division is up for grabs.
Oh yeah.
I mean, Seattle's winning that division right now. I'm kind of surprised. They're only a game back in their division at 3-4. They're only a game back. Like their season's not done yet. Like it looked like it could have been a couple weeks ago, but D-Hop looked great. The offense looked much more rhythmic than it did. I mean, Andy Dalton helped him out a lot by throwing 2 pick sixes in like 5 minutes of actual real life time. That helped a lot, but maybe that gets their defense back going a little bit. They gave up 34 points, but a lot of that was giving New Orleans a lot of free yards and kind of just playing safe. But I like Arizona. It's a dome. There's going into a dome team going into a dome on the road. So I like that. I'm not fully sold on Minnesota yet. I'm sorry, your quarterback is still Kirk Cousins.
Not a bad quarterback.
No, he's not. No, and I'm not knocking Kirk Cousins either. He's just like your middle of the road quarterback. I don't think his ceiling's super high. But on the other side, there's a guy whose ceiling is about as high as it can get. And I have a lot of respect for Kyler. There's a lot of jokes though. Call of Duty's out now, so or officially comes out what, Friday? Is that when the game officially drops Friday?
Yep.
So Yeah, I know. We're probably gonna go play some campaign after I eat, since we pre-ordered it. I pre-ordered it last night. So,
Yep.
yeah, I like Arizona. I think
Yeah.
they find a way to get back to four, and they get back to 500.
Going to Caesars Superdome here in New Orleans. It's the Las Vegas Raiders taking on the New Orleans Saints. I've got the Raiders in this one. I don't think the Saints are as bad as what I was expecting. They're not horrible. They're not great. But I think Derek Carr is going to have an amazing week. And I think Devontae Adams is going to have a really good week, too. So.
Yeah, I'm not. I think New Orleans is kind of just not good. I think New Orleans is not good. I think Vegas is one of those teams who's way better than that. Vegas is one of those teams who's way better than their record. That's not a 2-4.
For sure.
That's
for
that's
sure.
not a 2-4 team. They're not
No,
they're not a 2-4 team at all. I wouldn't be shocked if that team finishes like 9-8 or something along those lines. I think they're a better team than what they are, and I don't think this game is particularly close. I think Vegas kind of rolls over New Orleans, because I just don't think New Orleans is good at all.
Yeah. Two more games here on the 12 o'clock slate. We got
three.
Three?
We didn't do Detroit and Miami.
Oh, my bad. I skipped over that one. Well, we're gonna go there. So Miami Dolphins at the Detroit Lions, and I got the Dolphins immediately because I think Tua is back, and I think he's gonna be himself still. He said he wasn't gonna take any hits or anything like that, and then he put his head down and ran a dude over. So, yeah, he said he's gonna be more cautious and things like that, and then that happened in like the first. I think it's the first drive or second drive or something.
It was the first or second drive. Yeah, I watched the first half of that game.
I've got the Dolphins, and I've got them comfortably.
Yeah, Pittsburgh was giving them all the underneath routes they wanted early on, and that was the Dolphins' goal, was to get the ball out quickly, and they were doing that. Pittsburgh adjusted, but by that point in time, and with Pittsburgh offense being absolutely atrocious, they didn't have anything left. They didn't have anything to get back in that game. The touchdown they scored was crazy with the catch Pickens made, but no, I like Miami by a lot.
My bad. Next game here. New England Patriots at the New York Jets. So obviously some stuff going up in the air in New England at the moment, and the Jets, Breece Hall tearing his ACL, very unfortunate. So Mac Jones probably not gonna start, maybe. Breece Hall not there. What do you think?
I like the Jets, even without Breece Hall.
I like the Jets too.
I like the Jets. I have no faith in this New England team whatsoever. I have no faith in this team. I mean, you just got blown out by the Bears at home. And I don't think the Bears are anywhere near. I don't think the Bears are as good as the Jets.
Yeah.
Even though I like Justin Fields more than I like Zach Wilson, but Zach Wilson has a much better supporting cast. I think that receiving core is way better.
Yeah. Way better supporting cast.
Yeah. I just wish, just give Justin Fields one of his wide receivers that he had at Ohio State. Just give him one. That's all I ask for.
Just one.
Just one of them. But no, I like the Jets here at home, and just keep riding that momentum.
Yeah. Next game is gonna be the only / the last undefeated team in the NFL, and it's at home for them in Philadelphia. It's the Steelers taking on the Eagles, and I've got Philly, and I've got them by a decent amount too.
Yeah, I think Philly easily moves to 7-0 here.
Yeah.
I like Pittsburgh's defense, but this offense can't do anything. The catch George Pickens made
literally
to score their lone touchdown was incredible. He's proved he's really good. And I'm not sold on Kenny Pickett whatsoever. They have looked bad. Najee Harris is doing nothing.
Yeah, which is really unfortunate. I like Najee.
I do too. He's just not doing anything right now for Pittsburgh, and they aren't going to be able to score with Philadelphia.
Probably going to be a blowout there. But 3:05 game here. Titans at the Texans. Probably will have one of the least viewerships besides maybe the 8:30 game. But I've got the Titans because the Texans are that bad at football. Yeah, they're in the running for the number 1 pick. That's all I got to say. It's the Titans. I mean, Texans are so bad.
I concur. I think Derrick Henry runs all over this team. He just dominates. I think Derrick Henry dominates this game. Tennessee controls the football, and they just roll the Texans. It's on the road, but I don't care. I just think they roll here.
Yeah. 325 games here. First one to talk about is the Commanders at the Colts. And obviously, Colts quarterback situation. Actually, both these teams is quarterback situations. Interesting. Sam Ehlinger named the Week 8 starting quarterback for the Colts this week. So I don't know. I got Washington. I think beating the Packers coming off that win. I think they're going to keep it going. The Colts got to get stuff figured out, and their defense hasn't helped them.
I do too. The pride of Old Dominion, Taylor Heineke, gonna get the job done here for the Commanders, and I have no faith in Indianapolis now. No faith. Yeah. This is Tennessee's division to win now, right? And Tennessee can now run. They can run away with this division now.
Yeah.
I don't understand it. I get it. Ryan's been bad, but I think it's a little too soon. I think it's a little too soon for this because I still think there's an outside shot you can still make the playoffs. I still think there's an outside shot you can make the playoffs if Matt Ryan gets hot. I know that's asking a lot, but and they've been playing without their stud middle linebacker Shaq Leonard. So,
yep. Yeah, I just don't think their defense has helped the Colts. So.
And that's fair.
Well, welcome back. 40 minutes Zoom. Y'all get the deal by now. But next game, we ended off on the Commanders and the Colts. So we're gonna go to the 49ers at the Los Angeles Rams here at the SoFi Stadium. I actually really do think this is gonna be a good game. Obviously, the 49ers offense is looking a lot more deadly with Christian McCaffrey in the trade there. I really like the 49ers offense. I like Garoppolo. I like Kittle. But I also really like the Rams defense. It's a tough one. But for me, I'm going to play home field advantage here, and I'm going to go with the Rams.
Well, the Rams don't have much of a home field advantage. I'm just going to throw that out there, that the Rams don't have fans, apparently. But we saw that last year during those playoff games they had against the 49ers, or the 49ers fans were basically dominating the stadium. But I don't think San Francisco is good. I think McCaffrey helps. I just think they're weak at quarterback. Actually, no. I'm gonna reverse this.
They're just injured.
I'm gonna reverse this. I'm gonna reverse this take. I'm gonna pick San Francisco. They have LA's number. I just think that's a thing.
They have played.
I think that's a thing. And now the more I think about it, you give McCaffrey another week, he's probably going to be even more involved than what he was. I'm gonna go San Francisco. I think this game's pretty much a toss-up.
Oh yeah, because they beat the Chargers. Or the Rams, 24-9. Yeah. 49ers, I still think it'll be a good game, but I just got the Rams taking this one here. Giants at the Seahawks. Now, this one could be a good one too. There's some good games this week. I really do think there is. But I'm gonna ride the hot team here. I'm gonna go with the Giants. Danny Dimes, Saquon Barkley. This team winning the Super Bowl. No, I'm kidding. But the Giants have looked good. I'm starting to think that they're actually really legit.
I'm starting to think they're legit, but I also think this Seattle team might actually be somewhat legit.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with Seattle. I'm going to think they keep the momentum rolling after a big win over the Chargers, and Kenneth Walker's looked good ever since Rashad Penny got hurt. He had a huge game for the Seahawks just last week. If it weren't for Jacobs, that would have been my pop of the week, would have been Kenneth Walker. But I'm going to go with Seattle. I think they move it to 5-3 and finally knock the Giants off their high horse.
No, it's fair enough. I think it's going to be a good game in Seattle. Next one could be an interesting one, but I'm calling a blowout. Packers at the Bills, and I've got the Bills by at least, it could be by 30 or more.
Oh my gosh.
I've got them by at least 20.
I think this is Buffalo by about 3 touchdowns. I don't think Green Bay can score.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can score 20, but I don't know if your team can hold Buffalo under 40.
Yeah.
That's why I had a lot of people were complaining about the Chiefs defense against Buffalo after the Buffalo game. Like, what do you mean? They gave up 24 points to the Bills. That's pretty good. I'll take that.
I will take it too.
You tell me the Chiefs are going to hold Buffalo to 24. I'm expecting us to win that game.
Yeah.
I think Buffalo's the best team in the league.
No.
And I watched something was it last night or this morning where they have Buffalo 1, Kansas City 2, Philly 3. And I think it's probably pretty consensus. I mean, a lot of your like major media power rankings are going to have the Eagles at 1 just because they're undefeated. Just because you're undefeated doesn't make you the best team in the league. It just means you've played the easiest schedule.
Well,
and I mean, Buffalo lost to Miami, and I think Miami's pretty good. So,
yep, yeah. That's your 7:20 game, late night on Sunday. Monday Night Football here. Bengals at the Browns, and I'm gonna go with the Bengals. They're hot right now. They're figuring it out. That offense is clicking on all cylinders. So I mean, I've got Joe Burr and Jamar Chase. I've got the Bengals.
Good old Joe Shiesty, and that they are rolling right now. This Cincinnati offense is rolling, and
yeah,
I just don't think this Cleveland defense will have anything for them. I don't think Cleveland's offense can keep up. The only way they can keep up is if Chubb and Kareem Hunt just run this Bengals defense to death, and they keep the ball away from Joe Burrow. I think that's if you're Cleveland, you want 25 carries out of Nick Chubb. And I think if you have 25 carries out of Chubb, I think you have a shot.
Yep. If
you can control the clock. But the Cincinnati offense is too good right now, and they have found their footing. Finally, took them a little bit, but they have found their footing.
Yeah, they're starting to look like that team last year that was in the Super Bowl for sure.
Yeah, they are.
2 bye week teams this week. Forgot to mention at the beginning, the Chiefs and the Chargers both on byes this week. Going to get their week of rest before continuing on their seasons. But any last comments about week 8?
Not really. I think there's a lot. I mean, there's a lot of good games on this list. There's a lot of good games. Yeah. I hope we finally get a good Thursday night game. I've been hoping for that forever. But I think this finally has the potential to be a good Thursday night game. And don't be shocked if you see a couple surprises on Sunday. We've seen that where there's always 1 or 2 that nobody expects. So I definitely be aware of that. There could be a couple that could surprise some people on Sunday. Yeah,
so that'll do it for this week's episode of the NFL, and we will see you next Thursday. We hope you have a wonderful rest of your day and week, and we hope to have you join us next time on the Two Bros Sports Podcast. With that being said, I'm your host, Hunter Smith, and goodbye.